Hello, friends, and welcome. This is episode 7 of Journey into Fandom Season 2, a podcast where I have guests on to discuss what fandoms and communities they're a part of, what their experience has been, what the memes are, and how toxic or wholesome it is. Before we get started, I gotta give my Patreon shout out to Chris and John. Thank you both so much for supporting the show, and to all my lifetime Patreon supporters, thank you. I appreciate it tremendously. I'm your host, Carislan, and today on the show we had Master Leytrx, and we talked about basically everything. It was a ton of fun. We rambled about all the stuff we're into, including Kingdom Hearts, Pokemon, Star Wars, anime, and it was just a fun getting to know you conversation. We recorded this a while ago. I'm sorry I'm only getting this out now, but thank you, Leytrx, for coming on the show. Now, without any further ado, please join me on this journey into fandom. Well, hello everyone. My name is Carislan, and welcome to another episode of Journey into Fandom. And today on the show we have Leytrx. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
So good to have you on. I'm very excited.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. We just gotta chat about life and fandom and everything. So you do Keyblade design.
Yeah, that's mainly what I do, yeah.
That's your thing, right? So, yeah. How long have you been doing that?
Oh, geez. I started doing Keyblades. I mean, it's weird because I started doing them digitally back in high school.
Right.
So, this was because my friends and I, we were working on like a Kingdom Hearts kind of story of our own, and I was like, oh, I want to design Keyblades for the characters that we're creating. So I just started designing Keyblades for the various characters in the story, and then as I continued doing it, I was like, hey, this is really fun, and I just kept doing it, and then eventually I just ended up being what I am now and just making Keyblades constantly all the time.
And they're so good. Like, I love them. They're so amazing. Yeah, so if you haven't, you need to check out Master Leytrx on Twitter. All the links will be in the show notes and all that stuff, so you can look at them. They're so nice, very beautiful. But you also designed the logo for this show, so thank you for doing that.
Oh yeah, I'm a graphic designer as well as a digital artist, so I do a lot of various whatever. You needed a logo done, and I was like, hey, let's see what I can come up with.
Yeah, and it's really great. I really love it. So thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you like it.
I have some real gifted friends. I'm not gifted in this area whatsoever. Like, it's just easier for me to pay someone else to do it. I ain't got the time. Yeah, we all busy people, so yeah, man. So Keyblades, Kingdom Hearts. We got so much coming up in life. We got the big announcement in like 10 days from now, which is wild.
God, is it really that soon?
20th anniversary. Yeah, well, we're in April tomorrow. So, this, I don't even understand. This is so good. Is there anything that you're excited for them to announce? If that's the $1 million question at the moment. What everybody talking about?
I mean, I'd love to see Kingdom Hearts 4. I have no idea how far along in development it is, but I have no doubt that it's being worked on. I highly doubt it'll be, you know, a 2022, but maybe a 2023. But I'd love to
Yeah.
at least see it.
That would be so good.
I know from the Nvidia leak we had a while back.
Mm-hmm.
I know Kingdom Hearts 4 was listed, so like I know it's at least coming.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, it's too soon for Kingdom Hearts 4. Look at how big of a gap it was between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3." And I'm like, "Okay, fair, but look at the gap between Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2. That was only
Right.
like 3 years."
Yes, and they had to rework the whole game in a new engine and all that stuff. It's like people never talk about that. It's like, you know, if you do like a Google search for 2 seconds, like you'll understand why it took them so long to get Kingdom Hearts 3 out. So yeah, for real. I would love to see that. That would be so good. And literally, man, I'm just excited for them to announce anything at this point. Um, Dark Road would be nice.
Oh yeah, I know that got delayed.
Yeah.
Honestly though, they said they delayed it because it was supposed to be like a huge new update that they're doing. Like they're gonna like expand the story past what they had initially planned. So
Yeah. I guess we'll see. We'll see what they do. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot going on. But we're here for it. We're so excited. So, and I think like the community is just ready for something. We had March Caprice and we had Cage 20 this weekend, and that was a joy and a privilege. Did you catch any of that stuff?
I wanted to, but I was at work the entire weekend, so I
Got
didn't
it.
get a chance to.
Got it. Understandable.
I know the Light versus Darkness guys did a whole presentation during March Caprice, and they gave a little shout out to our Bicentennial Trace project. So
Mm,
that me and Dallin were working on. So I was very appreciative to hear about that. I wish I could have watched.
that's exciting. Yeah. I missed a lot of things just because I mean, I was obviously there for like my stuff, but then apart from that, I was like, man, I want to sit here and like consume everything. And I did. I watched a fair bit of it on Saturday, like at least 3 or 4 hours, I think. But then on like Sunday all day, I was just super busy. So yeah, but anyhow, it's all there still online to catch up on. So I'm doing that over the kind of I'm watching like little bits and pieces here and there, and feeling bad about myself because I'm like everyone else is so talented and I'm just here. But
Hey, you've got this whole podcasting thing going on. You've got a whole like content creation stuff going on. Not anybody can just do that. So don't put yourself down.
yeah, I know. I feel like an imposter sometimes. I'm like, man, like you got all these cool people, like I don't know, regular Pat and everybody, and Ava and all these, and the Spaghetti Bros, and I'm just like, man, what do I do? But I'm here. I'm here. We're doing it. We're getting there. So, yeah. Anyways,
I feel that. I really do.
mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think like the cool thing about March Caprice is it's not about that. Like they don't it's not a competition. Everybody's just having a good time and the vibe was so good and yeah, so I'm just harsh on myself, but no, it was a joy and a privilege. I saw part of the concert on Sunday, the keynote like organized, and it was so good. Like I was blown away. I was like, man, that's so amazing. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it all again because, yeah, outstanding. So, yeah, we did that. It was good. Uh,
Yeah, I'm gonna need to go in and watch that. I never got a chance to.
yeah, I'm really desperate to go to KH Reconnect next year, like to get on a plane and go. We will see. But yeah, just an in-person con would be out of this world, so um I'm hyped for this. Yeah, so what else? Why don't we talk a little bit about your fandom journey? So, how did you discover Kingdom Hearts in the first place?
Okay. So it's actually interesting. I think the first time I ever saw Kingdom Hearts, I was over at a friend's house, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. Um, but he was playing this game, and it was like Disney, and I was like, "What the heck? What is this? This is cool, though." And he was showing me like the different like drive forms because it was Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay.
And I was like, "This is really cool. I want to play this." And so I played a little bit of it. I remember distinctly as funny. One of my first experiences with Kingdom Hearts 2 was Atlantica.
Oh, yes. Let's go. Atlantica's really not that bad in my opinion, but anyways.
I played through Atlantica and I did the Ursula fight for him because he didn't want to do it.
Nice.
Because I was like, "Oh, I'm decent with rhythm games. I can try that." And so I beat Ursula, and I'm like, "This game is really cool. I want to play it." Now, I didn't have a PlayStation. I was a Nintendo kid pretty much my entire childhood. So I never had a PS2.
Mm-hmm.
When I would go over to friends' houses, they'd have PS2s, and I would get to play Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 over there. But all I really had of my own was a DS and a Wii.
Okay. Yep.
Obviously, there was no Kingdom Hearts game on the Wii. That would have been cool.
That would be. Can you imagine? Like just waving the Wii remote about like a Keyblade?
Oh yeah, that would have been neat. But I did have a DS. So the first Kingdom Hearts game I properly played like on my own was actually 358 Days Over 2.
Okay. Awesome.
So I love that game.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
so into that game, and I was doing like I go back to my old save file, and I'm like, I don't even know how I did some of this stuff because I like maxed the command board with like every single slot being filled properly, and like maxing levels and comboing the different pieces together. I'm like, how did I do that as a kid? Like, what?
Wow. That's so impressive.
I never did beat the Dust Flyer though. That thing was like that was my bane right there. I never beat the Dust Flyers. I never actually 100%ed that game. I never unlocked Sora in the mission mode. Also, I will say this:
Uh-huh.
the Leech Grave. Oh, I was stuck on that fight for like a year.
Oh no.
I'm not kidding. I that fight was so hard. I don't know why they would put a fight that difficult in a DS game. And then, of course, they followed up with the Ruler of the Sky, which made me like genuinely furious. I don't know what it was with the boss design in that game. Like, I love that game to death, but I cannot defend its boss design half the time. The bosses in that game are so ridiculous.
I've never played the whole thing. I need to get to that at some point. Yeah. Like I own it. I like started it and didn't get very far. Like not because I didn't want to, I just kind of forgot about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Days is it's a commitment.
Yeah. But then all of Kingdom Hearts is, to be fair. Like every game is pretty long. So,
Yeah, I mean, so then the second game I never actually had Recoded originally. So I had a 3DS, and then I had Dream Drop Distance,
okay.
and I really liked Dream Drop Distance. I
Mhm.
eventually got Recoded, and I'm just gonna be straight up honest. I don't like that game.
That's fair. It's not everybody's cup of tea.
Uh,
I don't think that's a controversial opinion.
yeah, but I think the reason why I don't like that game is controversial.
Okay, hit me.
It's really not the story, it's the controls. I don't like that they tried to do the Birth by Sleep command menu on the DS.
Interesting.
I think that system, because the way they did it, you end up with the camera being controlled by one of the shoulder buttons and then the D-pad. So you have to stand still to adjust the camera unless you want it to automatically follow Sora, and that's just not good.
Right. Yeah.
It drove me crazy having to readjust the camera every like 30 seconds to see anything.
Yeah, that sounds bad and inefficient. I haven't played Recoded either, so yeah. We'll get to it in my life. I've yeah, well, I know you like anime, so we can get into that in a minute, but I've been reading One Piece and I just caught up like last week. So like that's pretty much consumed like all of my time that like I was like playing games and things. Like I just kind of haven't been doing that cuz I've just been reading One Piece. So um but we're done now. So yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to all that. But yeah, so what do you think in terms of the Kingdom Hearts community? Like do you think it's wholesome and welcoming, or is there anything about it that like frustrates you?
Oh, I mean, I have a love hate relationship with the Kingdom Hearts community.
Yeah.
I love the part of the community that I get to be a part of, the Keyblade Forge. That
Yeah.
these guys are fantastic. They're like my internet family.
Yeah, they seem like a cool bunch.
Oh yeah, everybody's over there is just so cool and welcoming, helpful. Everybody's always trying to bring each other up, help each other improve with their artwork, and it's great community. I think there's a problem with the Kingdom Hearts community, the larger Kingdom Hearts community as a whole, not so much like the specifics, but like there's a gatekeeping problem, I think, with a lot of the Kingdom Hearts community.
Oh boy, is there.
And definitely not a fan of that.
No. That's fair. What do you think in terms of we could get into like anime if you want. I know um you listed some shows that you like. Do you see any similarities between like those communities and Kingdom Hearts, or do you see any way that they're like different?
um
Out of curiosity.
I don't know, the anime community, there's definitely a lot of gatekeeping in the anime community as well,
Oh yes.
but I don't really engage in the larger anime community as a whole. I kind of just tend to stick with the shows that I like.
Right.
So I tend to avoid a lot of the larger drama within the anime space, because I kind of just I don't keep up with like seasonal shows or anything. I just kind of watch what I want to watch, and that's pretty much it.
For real. That's a good way to be. I respect that. I'm pretty similar. Like I'll just watch whatever the heck I want, you know. Um whenever. So, yeah. Well, are you watching anything just now?
Um, Anime wise, not really. I just started
Mhm.
Moon Knight yesterday, and
Oh,
it's already wild.
in a good way or a bad way?
It definitely in a good way. I mean, it's got a mystery going on, and it's definitely intense. It's got a lot of stuff happening, and I'm like, I have no idea, but I'm intrigued. I haven't read any of the Marvel comics. I've really only been engaged with Marvel in terms of the movies and some of the animated series.
Yeah, yeah. I also have never read any of the comics. I've seen most of the MCU movies, and I've not watched any of the Marvel shows though. I watched a little bit of Daredevil, um, and I liked it. I'm a little bit squeamish. Like, I mean, I have been watching like Attack on Titan, so I'm not that squeamish. But like, I think when it's real life versus like animated, like I find it like worse. With like lots of violence. So yeah, I don't. I might go back to it at some point, or I might not. I don't know. So I don't know if Moon Knight is kind of in that same vein. I don't know if I would enjoy it, but I am curious about it because it seems like an interesting premise. So
I mean, it's dark, but I wouldn't say it's nearly as dark as like Daredevil, because like that's like mature rated. This is still like typical MCU.
okay. Okay.
I would say it's probably a bit more graphic than like some of the MCU stuff, but
Alright, alright.
it's not gonna be like Netflix Daredevil. I know they just added that to Disney Plus, but they literally had to like change the entire rating system on Disney Plus to even like add that show. So
Interesting. I was unaware of that. So, well, cool. Yeah, Disney Plus. It's a platform. We well, we got Obi-Wan coming soon, so that's exciting.
that I am very excited for. I love
Yes,
Star
let's
Wars.
go. Let's go.
And I've got Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga coming out in like 5 days.
That's right.
So
Oh, that's exciting. Is it only on next gen though? Is it coming on PS4?
yeah, it's coming on everything. It's on
Ooh.
PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PS5, Series X, PC.
Okay, okay. Interesting. I remember I used to love the Lego Star Wars games back in the day. I played all of them, so yeah.
The only one I ever played was the complete saga back on the Wii, but I mean, I absolutely loved it. So
Yeah, I played it back on PS2. Yeah, good times.
speaking of PlayStation and going back to Kingdom Hearts, I remember as a kid, I was so jealous of everybody that had a PSP because I wanted to play Birth by Sleep so badly and I couldn't.
Oh no. Did you end up playing on like PS3 like Final Mix or what have you or
Yeah, so eventually I when I got a job, I saved up money and I bought a used PS3 just to play the 1.5 and 2.5 collections.
you got it?
And then literally a year later they released them on PS4.
No.
So I just sold the PS3 and bought them again on PS4.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, I have I've still got them on PS3 actually. I haven't sold my PS3 yet. So,
Honestly, I'm sort of regretting selling that PS3. I mean, it wasn't the original model, so it wasn't like the backwards compatible one, but still, I sort of regret selling that. I wish.
yeah. It's an underrated console, I think. I
Yeah.
actually quite enjoyed the PS3.
Well, I mean, I wish I hadn't sold it because, you know, with PS4, PS5, the only way to play backwards compatible PS3 games is to stream them on the cloud. And, like, ugh, I don't want to do that.
Awful. Yeah, and no good. I still do not have a PS5, and I don't know that I'll ever get one, like, unless Kingdom Hearts 4 doesn't come out on PC, which, I mean,
I'm thinking with Square Enix's PC initiatives now, we're probably safe from the, you know, platform exclusivity that Kingdom Hearts has had in the past.
yeah, I just, man, I would really prefer not to have to buy a PS5 because like, I would just rather spend that money on, like, travel and getting on a plane and going somewhere than, a very expensive console with very expensive games that I don't know. Gaming is expensive enough, like
Yeah, I have a PS5. I mean, it's cool, but I will say, even as somebody that has a PS5, yeah, if you have a PS4, you really don't need one right now.
Right. I think I'm good.
Like, there's nothing on PS5 that's only on PS5 that's like absolutely like you need this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the only thing would be, like, what's it called? Intergrade. But yeah,
Oh yeah, I guess the intermission DLC. I guess that was PS5 exclusive. I still don't know why. That was dumb.
it is stupid. I am concerned that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 will not come out on PS4, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Um, but yeah,
It might not come to PS4, but they did just put FF7 remake on PC, so we should at least be safe on that.
if it's on PC, that'll be okay. But I mean, well, yeah, my PC's not great in terms of I don't know, but I wasn't thinking ahead when I built it because I decided I didn't need a graphics card. Oh boy, how wrong was I?
Oof.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but I mean, I didn't at the time, but now we're like, oh, Yeah, it was a mistake. But anyways, bringing it back, bringing it back. Yeah, so I guess we've covered a lot already. We've just been chatting about things we like, which is
I
fine.
yeah, I know. That's what I said. Kind of. I don't really need a structure. I can just talk.
Absolutely. Yeah. What else are you excited for at the moment? You mentioned Obi-Wan. Is there anything else, like games or anything that's coming out soon?
Oh my god, 2022 has so many games coming out. It's honestly ridiculous. 2022
Yes.
needs to slow down.
Yeah.
I know Breath of the Wild 2 just got delayed, and honestly, I'm kind of relieved because there's so much also coming out this year that I'm like, okay, good. That gives me a chance to breathe. Because we've got Xenoblade 3 coming this year.
Yes. Very exciting. I say it's exciting. I haven't played any of those, but that's okay. I don't actually have a Switch right now. I've been considering getting one, and maybe I will, but yeah, I don't know.
I find myself using my Switch more often than I use my PlayStation, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, people that have them really like them, so yeah, I feel like I need to get on that, and then I can play Smash.
Yeah. Now that our boy's in there, yeah, Sora.
Oh yeah, I did play Sora and Smash when I was on vacation because a couple of my friends had it, um, and I was like, this feels just like Kingdom Hearts. Like it's so good. They designed it so well. It's wonderful. Our boy.
It feels a lot like Cage 1. I would say the way he plays in Smash reminds me the most of like Cage 1's controls.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit more streamlined than Cage 1, obviously, but like it doesn't feel quite like Cage 2 where it's like zippy combos and whatnot. It feels like his swings are a little bit more deliberate and heavy, kind of like Cage 1, which is fine. I mean, that's the model they went with for him, so I
Yeah.
understand why they picked that.
100%. No, I really like it. I think it's pretty fluid. His recovery is pretty good too.
His recovery is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. But the funny thing was, so I was staying with my friend, my co-host on Retrospective actually, and like his family and stuff. I'm hoping that by the time this episode comes out, don't tell anyone because it's not been announced, but season 2 of Retrospective will have begun. But we'll see. We'll see. Don't hold
Hmm.
your breath. But anyways, I was staying with him and his family, and his 5-year-old son is super good at Smash and was like beating me a ton. Like his timing was just so good. I'm like, why can I not? Well, I mean, I don't have a Switch, so I've never like really practiced before. But I'm like, man, this 5-year-old child is so good. I don't. Dang.
I'm not the best at Smash either. I mean, I'm like good for a casual player, but if I try to play anybody who's even like a little bit more skilled than I am, I'll just get wiped.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm like remotely good or anything, but well, I'm not. I'm but it was fun anyways. It was fun just to give it a bash. And the funny thing was our other friend was playing with us, and like he'd never played Smash before ever, I don't think. And wasn't familiar with really any of the characters in their moveset. So because I mean, I'm not good at Smash, but because I know Sora, like I was actually doing okay, like better than I was ever expecting. And like my other friend was just really confused and didn't know what was going on at all. So I was like, oh, I actually feel quite good about myself right now.
Yeah, he definitely plays very like if you've played Kingdom Hearts, you'll know exactly what to do.
Yes, exactly. So it was very intuitive. I was like, oh, I'm actually doing not bad.
I mean, that's the thing with Sakurai is he's so good at making every character feel like they came from the game that they're from.
Yes, and I've never really like understood that because there's there's never been another video game series that I've really spent as much time like playing as Kingdom Hearts. So, yeah, but I find that really interesting and very intriguing, and I'm like, man, I should play more things so that when I come to Smash I can be like okay at more characters. That would be fun. Man, we got Sonic 2 coming out tomorrow. What do you think about that?
Oh, it's coming off tomorrow for y'all. I don't get it until like next week.
Oh no, that's disappointing.
Yeah, for some reason the U.S. is getting it later than Europe this time. I guess to make up for the fact that y'all got it so much earlier, so much later than us last time.
Weird. I'm sorry.
I know. I want to see it. I really do because I really liked the first one.
Yeah, so did I only saw it like about last year at my friend's house, and I actually was like, this movie is pretty fun. It's much better than I was expecting it to
Yeah,
be.
I was really surprised at how good that movie actually was.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Carrey is, you know,
He's the
Jim
goat.
Carrey.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey's Jim Carrey, so he kind of, as his name would suggest, he might have carried that movie.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I'm terrible.
No, I enjoyed it. It's good fun. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that movie was honestly way better than I had hoped. I'm really excited to see this one. Idris Elba, I love Idris Elba, so I can't wait to see him as Knuckles.
Yes. Oh, there's so much to look forward to.
And then I really hope for the third movie they bring Shadow in because that would just be amazing.
Yeah. I think they will. Like, I mean, they would be stupid not to. We gotta have the edgelord.
I'm fairly sure they will because they've kind of been hinting at it. They said, "Oh, future movies won't follow the game's chronological timeline," and if you were to follow the game's chronological timeline, then it would be Metal Sonic, which everybody's saying like, "Oh, it'll be Metal in the next movie." But I'm like, they just said they're not going to be following that, so it's gonna be Shadow.
Right. Yeah, I think
I mean,
so.
I'm trying to think of what's going to get more people to buy a ticket, and I mean, Metal Sonic has his fans. There's no doubt about that, but he does not have the same like mainstay appeal as somebody like Shadow the Hedgehog.
No, like everybody loves Shadow. He's an edgy boy. He's like the Vanitas of the Sonic community.
Oh my god, he honestly, yeah, kind of. Yeah. Or really, I guess it's more fair to say that Vanitas is like the Shadow the Hedgehog of the Kingdom Hearts series.
That's true. That's true. That's a good comparison, to be fair. Yeah. I wonder if that fan fiction has to exist, right?
Oh god.
Okay, let's move on.
I don't know, and I don't really want to know.
Sonic community is weird, let's be real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my first episode was about Sonic, and like some of the things I found out, I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of mind came up with this? Oh,
Yeah.
they're very passionate. I'll say that.
I'm not super ingrained in the Sonic fandom. My friend is a lot more of a Sonic fan than I am. I just kind of am like, yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
It's a video game, you know. I like the movie. I've played like a handful of the games. That's pretty much it.
Got it. Yeah, but you're into Nintendo, right? So you're into Pokemon in a pretty big way.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon.
Very cool.
It's funny. I'd say my two biggest, besides Kingdom Hearts, is probably Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like which generation would you say?
the one I started with was Gen 4, so Diamond and Pearl. Actually, I started with Platinum specifically.
Man, that game is insane. Like how expensive it is right now.
I still have my original copy, so
oh man, because I used to work in a game store, and it used to be a store that people would sell their stuff to us, and like that game sells for like £70. I don't know what that is in dollars, probably like 90 or something like that.
It's probably going to be around $70 still.
Yeah.
Like maybe 80.
Yeah, maybe, but it's just like a lot of money. I was like, wow. People love these games.
Yeah, Platinum it's one that people have a lot of fondness for just because of how much content was in it.
Yeah.
But that was the game I started with, but honestly my favorite is probably the black and white games, Gen 5. I love Gen 5. I know everybody else seems to hate Gen 5. I don't know why. I don't understand that
Yeah.
opinion, because I'm like, these games are great. What's wrong with them?
And I think that's the thing, that I've found doing this show is people, they talk about, oh yeah, people hate this. It's like, it's kind of a meme thing to say. It's like, yeah, but I mean, people aren't homogenous. Like, people are gonna like different things in a thing, right? Like, it's great that you like those games. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, here's the thing with the Pokemon community, though, and this is another fandom where, much like Kingdom Hearts community, I'm more engaged in the Pokemon fandom. I can definitely say this is that the Pokemon fandom is very how do I say, they're very, they don't know what they want.
Oh, I see.
Or at the very least, they do know what they want, but the problem is that, and this is the cycle every single year, is this new game sucks, the last one was better. And then, it'll be the new game coming out, oh, the new game that just came out, it's terrible. But then one generation later, they'll be like remembering it fondly. And I'm like,
yes.
I'm like, you guys need to make up your minds. Like, I remember back when X and Y came out and everybody was like, oh, they're good, but they're kind of disappointing. And now everybody's like, man, X and Y were great. And I'm like, okay, yeah, they were, but like, why did the opinion change? And I mean, I'll even admit I'm kind of guilty of it too. It's, when I first got my hands on X and Y, I was like, these are good, but they're not like, the greatest thing ever. And I mean, I don't look back at them all as like the greatest thing ever, but I'm like, I remember them more fondly now than I think I did initially. But I don't think that's just because like the new games are worse. I think it's just because I've just grown to appreciate that game more.
Absolutely. And I think Kingdom Hearts is like that a lot too, because like I remember talking to Landy when he came on Kingdom Minds, and he was saying that when Kingdom Hearts 2 released, people hated it. I was like, what? No, that can't be true. But apparently it did, because he's been in the community for such a long time, and he saw this visceral hatred for Kingdom Hearts 2 online. I was like, what? Like, and that seems to happen. It's just over time, people grow a fondness for something because they see the new thing and they're like, yeah, actually, no. And I see that with like Star Wars too, as well. People hated the prequels so much, and now that the sequels came out and people didn't like those, they're like, actually, the prequels, and they're amazing. It's like, okay, I mean, yeah, they are, but well, some of them, but like. Man.
I mean, Revenge of the Sith, yeah.
Yeah, that film is so good. It's one of my favorites, I would say.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite ones too. It's funny. Switching to the Star Wars. Oh Lord, talk about a divisive fandom right about now.
Oh boy, is
like,
it?
There is so much animosity.
Yeah.
In the Star Wars fandom, it's ridiculous. It's like you can't talk about Star Wars without it turning into a fight.
It's true. Yeah.
And can we just enjoy things?
Right. No, apparently we can. There's gotta be something.
I'll give my opinion right now of the sequel trilogy movies.
Yeah, sure.
And that is that, look, they're definitely not what a lot of people wanted them to be. There's no denying that. And I think that the direction they took, especially the ninth movie, was questionable. But, I'm not just going to sit here and be like, I hate them, they're terrible. Like, I still appreciate them for what they are, and that's more Star Wars. And, I think a lot of people focus so much on what a movie isn't, that everything they don't like about the movie is, it didn't do this, it didn't do that. Instead of, okay, well, let's talk about what the movie did do.
Yeah.
Let's, instead of saying, why this movie's bad because it was not this, let's at least judge the movie based on what it actually is.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think that I'll always say this. Each of the sequels I like fine, but as a trilogy, maybe not. It doesn't. Yeah, there's so much like weird like retconning and things, and I'm not even talking about the Last Jedi. I'm more talking about the third movie, whatever it's called, the Rise of Skywalker. But anyways, not to get into that, but it's like these movies are fine. They're they're not the worst thing in the world, but oh well, we can't have nice things, I guess.
No, I agree with you. I think they're fine on their own. It's when you try to look at them as a trilogy, they don't really make a lot of sense, and that's because Force Awakens. Here was the problem: is that they didn't have an outline for a whole trilogy. They just kind of
Nope.
said, and I mean, they've literally said this like outright, like, yeah, we didn't have an outline plan.
And it's so evident. They didn't know what they were doing.
They handed J.J. Abrams the keys to this franchise, and he did what he could with the Force Awakens. And I think the Force Awakens actually had a mostly positive reception.
Yeah, I remember people really liking it when it came out.
I think most people were fine with the Force Awakens because it was just it was safe. It was very safe. I
Mhm.
think it was pretty much just a remake of A New Hope, and I do wish the movie did a little bit more of its own things. But then the problem is that people said that. They said, this movie is too derivative. We want something original. So then Ryan Johnson comes along and he says, okay, I'm going to make something original with The Last Jedi. And he does something nobody's ever seen before. Completely different, subverting everybody's expectations.
And it was great. I'll say it. I enjoyed it so much.
It was great, but everybody hated it.
Yep.
I really like The Last Jedi. I think it's, out of the 3 sequel movies, it's my favorite one.
Oh, yeah. Hands down.
There's only one part of that movie that I'm not really a fan of, and it's the whole Canto bite thing, and that's just because it just feels out of place. Like, it feels like I'm watching a side quest.
But I mean, it's nothing compared to the number of side quests that happen in The Rise of Skywalker.
No, and you're right. I mean, that movie, it's all over the place.
Yeah, but we're not here to complain about that. So, but yeah.
Well, I don't actually hate The Rise of Skywalker. I think, for what it is, which is, I don't know. I know everybody has an issue with them bringing back Palpatine, and I think here's the issue. I don't have a problem with them bringing back Palpatine. I have an issue with the way they brought back Palpatine.
Yes.
I think if you wanted to bring back Palpatine, you should have set that up in the earlier movies and not just have it be somehow Palpatine returned in the third movie.
Yeah. And it's like, it was so weird. It's like, the opening scroll text, and it's like, the dead speak, Palpatine is back. And we're like, okay, so we're doing this, I guess.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat, okay.
I think if they had set up for Palpatine's return in, say, The Last Jedi, it would have worked a lot better. Yeah. I mean, and I mean, here's the issue, right? Is that they had Supreme Leader Snoke, and then Rian Johnson made the decision to have him die in The Last Jedi. And I actually really liked that. I thought it was different because it was like, it kind of had this, oh crap, Kylo Ren really is like the main bad guy here. Like, he's not going to be anybody's subservient, puppet. He's going to take full control. But then they didn't really roll with that in episode 9. They brought Palpatine back in and were like, oh no, actually, Kylo was being manipulated by Palpatine the whole time, yada yada. I'm like, why though? Like, you set up Kylo to be the main villain. Like, you had him, say, this is my first order. I'm going to take over the galaxy in my name.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is good. This is, subverting expectations, but we're solidifying Kylo Ren is the bad guy. But then they go back on that.
Right. And I think he could have still had a redemption arc, like, even if that had been the case, like, even if he was gonna be the main villain, like, at the very end, like, you know, it could have been a Darth Vader situation, um, and so on, but nah, they just decided, "Hey, we're gonna." I mean, I will say I'm kind of a sucker for that, the scene where, you know, he's Ben Solo and him and Rey are fighting the Knights of Ren together. I quite enjoy that scene.
I liked that scene. I also liked the scene where Palpatine just, I always call it, he activates the base cannon. Because, well, maybe it was just me, but in my theater, when he did the like lightning up into the sky, the bass was like turned all the way up. So like the whole theater was like vibrating.
That's beautiful.
So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that was awesome.
Yeah. Everybody loves Palpatine. Let's be real.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the other thing is that everybody always like complains about, oh, they brought back Palpatine in episode 9 and yada yada. But it's like, okay, yeah, we can criticize the story all day, but can we at least like commend, you know, Ian McDiarmid for being able to come back to this role and still absolutely nail it?
Yes, 100%. Like, there's always something to like about these films. And the Star Wars community takes it so seriously. It's like these are just silly, goofy space films, you know?
Oh, I know.
Like, yeah, can we just enjoy some things, you know? But
Oh, I know. There's people that
yeah.
make this their like literal religion. Like it's like y'all calm down. It's a movie.
Right. I mean, Rogue One supremacy, let's be real, but yeah.
Oh, Rogue One was fantastic.
And I'm quite excited for the Cassian show.
That one I'm a little bit like, yeah, I'll watch it, but I'm not like crazy excited for it. I'm just kind of like, whatever, you know. Only because I have nothing against Cassian. I think he's a great character and all. It's just, you know, we sort of got everything from him in Rogue One.
Yeah, like, it's unnecessary, like, he doesn't need to have a backstory, but I'm just looking forward to going back to that world and, like, that era, time period and stuff, and, you know, hopefully more K2 will be fun.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um,
say, as long as they bring K2SO back in, I'll be happy.
yeah, yes, please. I should have stayed on the ship.
My favorite droids are always the ones with an attitude. Like Chopper from Rebels is my favorite astromech droid, and I love him, and he's great. And
I actually have never seen all of the Clone Wars or Rebels,
oh
so
my god, what?
I know.
Well, you got some catching up to do.
Oh no, it's so long though. It's
Well,
like
I mean, The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett and stuff, they're all tying into that. So,
I know, like, and I think that's why I preferred Mando season 1 so much more, because I think season 2 had a bunch of Clone Wars references that I obviously didn't understand, and so, you know, people online are like, "Oh, freaking out about all this and that," and I'm like, "Oh, happy for you," you know? So, yeah, I don't know, maybe I should. I did tell Vaughn when we did our Star Wars episode back in season 1 that I would, and I haven't, so, yeah.
oh, well, I'll just say this. You got to watch Rebels for Grand Admiral Thrawn
Exciting.
because he's like so cool.
I actually am aware of Thrawn. I have read one and a half of the Star Wars novels from back in the day. So yeah, I know that
Yeah,
he's very much revered.
he's my dad's favorite Star Wars character.
Interesting. That's cool.
He read the Heir to the Empire books, you know, probably when he was like my age.
That's awesome. So have you always liked Star Wars?
Pretty much. I
Yeah.
mean, I, I was born in 99, like, I think a month before Phantom Menace came out. So Star Wars has literally always been like relevant while I was alive.
Right. Yeah. And that's awesome.
I remember when Revenge of the Sith originally came out. I didn't see it in theaters, but I got it on DVD when it came out to DVD, and I finally got to watch it. that is still probably one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Is Revenge of the Sith. Hayden Christensen gets a lot of hate, but I think he's a great actor. It's just he had to work with what he was given.
Yeah.
And
I completely agree.
He did his best for what he was given, and I think, given the script that he had to work with, he did a great job. I mean, everybody likes to say, oh, Hayden Christensen this, Hayden Christensen that, but I'm like, y'all are all so excited he's coming back as Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, so
right.
It's so funny to watch people who 10 years ago were spitting on the ground that the prequels, stood on, now revering them and holding them up the way they are. I'm like, you guys have made a complete 180. And it's just really funny that your opinion has changed so drastically on these movies.
For sure. And I think part of that is probably meme culture, because prequels memes are amazing.
Yeah, I definitely think the memes have helped the prequels.
I think so.
And I mean, I like prequel memes. I think they're great. I like the prequels in general. I mean, I never thought they were the greatest movies ever made, but I enjoy them.
Yeah.
I've always defended the prequels, even before, the whole prequel defense thing started. I was pretty much the same thing I do with the sequels is okay, sure, you can, criticize them all you want, but let's at least, appreciate them for what they are instead of, complain about what they're not. And that's pretty much just always been my opinion.
Yeah. I really think that there's value in everything. Usually there's something that you can be like, that was good, right? There's usually something commendable about most things, I would say. And I think it's cool to be able to find out what those are. Even in the wackiest, weirdest things. And you know what? Sometimes things aren't great, but you can like them anyway. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with being able to appreciate a bad movie either.
Yes.
I will say this. I like the Michael Bay Transformers movies.
Oh, yeah?
They're not good. They're not good.
No.
But I like them.
That's fair. You're allowed to. I watched the first one a lot back in the day, because it was I remember when that movie came out and people were like, oh, Transformers, that's a weird thing to make a movie of, that weird 80s cartoon. And then it was a big hit because Michael Bay, and look at the cool camera angles and the CGI, and Shia LaBeouf is a funny haha guy and all that stuff, right? And people loved it.
Yeah, I actually think the first Transformers movie was actually pretty good.
Yes, and I'm sure if I went back and rewatched it, I would have a good time with it. But then it started a whole trend of bringing back nostalgia things, and I think that really, I mean, I'm sure they were doing that before the Transformers movies, but I think that was one of the first ones that I was really aware of that kind of hit the mainstream, that people started to really like. And then I remember watching, I think, the second one in the movie theater, maybe and then maybe I've seen it one other time, and then I don't think I've seen any of the others.
Yeah,
I didn't like the second one at all. I was like, oh, this is long and not that interesting.
The second movie was the start of a downward trend in those movies.
Yeah.
The first movie was, it was all right. It was good for what it was. And then the second movie was oh, this is where you're taking these? Really?
And then I kind of wondered, what would be the weirdest thing for them to bring back and try and remake in a sort of gritty teenage style. And I was like, man, I don't know, what did I really like as a kid that would be weird if they brought back? And it's
oh my god, what's the wildest thing you can think of?
Yeah,
for them to bring back? Oh man, what
a live action Arthur.
Oh my god, I loved Arthur. Didn't they just end it?
I think so.
Like, didn't the original series like just end? Like, they just aired the finale like last month.
I think so. Yeah. I haven't watched it since I was a kid, but yeah, I'm vaguely aware of that happening.
That's crazy.
It's so weird. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm trying to think what would be like the wildest thing for them to do a live action like modern day remake of. Oh man. Okay, this isn't like a childhood thing. This is fairly recent, but I just imagined like, oh god, what if they did like a live action Persona 5?
Oh my.
Oh no.
Oh. Horrible.
They'd have oh my god.
Man. I'm cautiously optimistic about the Netflix live action One Piece. Like, it might be horrible. I don't know. Like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic, but like Oda has been really involved in the casting. So you never know. It might be okay. And
Yeah.
the thing is, it's not gonna ruin One Piece for me. If I don't like it, I don't have to watch it. Like, it's fine. The manga
Yeah.
is always gonna be there. So yeah.
See, I'm not a One Piece fan. I've read a little bit of the manga long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
but
That's okay.
I don't like dislike One Piece or anything. I'm just not really a fan of it. Like, haven't kept up with it. Haven't really had an interest in keeping up with it. Again, not like a dislike as much as just not too interested.
That's okay.
Now, Fairy Tail was the anime I was like
Oh yeah.
crazy into.
I've never seen Fairy Tail, so
It's yeah.
it's a show.
It exists. I mean, it's good, but it's so ridiculous, and it's very fan service heavy.
Oh.
So
I'm not into unnecessary fan service. I mean,
yeah,
there's quite a lot in My Hero, but it's not the worst ever. I don't know. Like, I can tolerate some things, but other things, like, I had a viral tweet about a year ago complaining about the ecchi in Food Wars because I watched it not realizing it was an ecchi show. I just thought it was a shonen about making food, about being a chef, and I'm like, that's awesome. And then
Mhm.
it's like, oh, it's this kind of show. Okay, all right. I'm out. Dropped it after 2 episodes, and then this tweet got like over 1,500 likes, and I was like, oh, wow. So that was wild. But yeah, uh, it was too much for me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind that kind of stuff in anime as long as it's not like heavy handed. Like, I understand that's just kind of part of the humor in Japan. So, that's why it's like I understand, like, that's just kind of part of the Japanese sense of humor. So I can't like fault anime for being the way it is. It's
Yeah,
a culture. It's a cultural thing, I think, a lot of the
absolutely.
time.
Yes.
But I don't know. I mean, I understand why people get put off by it. It's not like I'm sitting here like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong with it? Like, I get it. I understand why people would be uncomfortable watching stuff like that. It's like I don't fault anybody for being like, oh, I can't watch this because it's got fan service in it. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah. I just think like there's a point where I can ignore some things or like even laugh at some jokes and be like, okay, that's actually pretty funny. But then like when it's a point where it's just that's the whole show, I'm like, nah, I'm out.
Right, and those are the ones that even I'm like, yeah, I'm not even gonna bother. Like,
No.
if this is all you have, you could at least like try to make the show like interesting. instead of just making it,
Yeah. It's like
haha.
I wanted to watch Fire Force because I was like, oh yeah, it's shown it by firefighters. That sounds fun. And then I heard it was like an ecchi and like saw some clips and was like, oh, uh,
I mean, have you watched Soul Eater?
yes, I have.
Okay, because it's pretty much along the same lines as Soul Eater.
Really?
I mean, it's the same guy. It's the same person who's making it.
Okay. Soul Eater was so weird. I liked it so much at the start, and then like I can't believe I watched the whole thing, honestly, because like halfway through I just got bored out of my mind.
They stopped following the manga like halfway through and
It was
just tried
so
to
weird.
make up the story on there. It's sort of like the original Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah. It's like, nah, I'm committed. I'm gonna watch the whole thing, and I don't know why I did that because the ending was so horrible. Um, and I was so bored, but I don't know. But I like their outfits. They have good designs, good character designs, I'll say that.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Fire Force. I mean, that's made by the same author as Soul Eater, so
Yeah, that's why I was interested in like watching it, but then I saw some clips and was like, I don't know, maybe not.
I don't know. I mean, don't forget, Blair exists in Soul Eater, so
That is true. Yeah, that's fair. What else? What else is there? Many things.
I mean, there's enough to where I could keep talking for several more hours, but I know that we can't exactly go on forever.
That is true. Is there anything else you want to chat about that you're excited for, or any fandom things that is on your mind?
I guess looping it back to the little thing we said about Pokemon earlier, I'm excited and cautiously optimistic for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Okay.
Yeah, I really liked Legends Arceus. I really liked the direction they took the series with that game, and I'm just really hoping they don't screw it up. I'm like, you had something good going there. Please, please, please do not go back on it and undo all of the good work you have done with Legends Arceus.
That would be nice. Yep.
Because I think that was the best Pokemon game in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Did you play that like weird, whatever it's called, Pokemon Snap or something, where it's like basically a camera?
No, I know it's a sequel to like an N64 game, and I know people really like the original N64 game. But I honestly, when it comes to Pokemon, I really only care about the mainline games.
Okay.
Like, I'm not super into the spin-offs of Pokemon.
That's fair.
So I don't really go beyond the main generation releases.
Yeah.
With Pokemon.
That makes sense, because I mean, you don't have all the time in the world sometimes.
Right. Well, I mean, it's not just that, but my favorite genre of games is JRPGs.
Yep.
So
I'm with you there.
Specifically for me, it's action JRPGs. I don't mind turn-based games, but man, do I like a good action JRPG.
Yeah.
Okay, little side tangent, but just because it's been coming up again recently. But if you have not played Tales of Arise, do yourself a favor and play that game.
Tales of Arise? Okay, I have not. I can check it out. I'll put it on the list.
It is fantastic.
Is it on... What's it on? Is it on PS4?
Yes.
Okay.
It's on PC too.
All right.
I'd recommend probably just getting it on PS4.
Gotcha.
That game is so good. I don't beat a lot of my games. I'm notoriously bad about beating my games. But
Same.
I played all the way through Tales of Arise.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm currently going through the new Kirby game, and that game's good. I've never played a Kirby game before. I've never played a Kirby before. This is the first one that I've ever played.
I haven't either, so cool.
And Yeah, it's really good so far.
Nice. I am currently playing Dragon Quest XI on PS4.
I have Dragon Quest XI. I have it on I have it on PC, but I haven't started it yet. I want to. It's on my list.
Yeah.
I have it sitting in my Epic Game Store library. It's downloaded and everything. I just haven't started it yet because it's such a long game. I'm like, I need to dedicate time just to playing that. And that's the thing I'm most bad about is dedicating my time to a single game. Like I think I buy games more often than I play games.
Yes, same, which I'm like I've had we mentioned Persona 5 actually. I've had that just lying around for like a year and haven't played it. And also Final Fantasy 15. I haven't played that either. So yeah, I need to get to those.
I haven't finished Final Fantasy 15. I still need to finish Final Fantasy 15, and I have played through all of the base game of Persona 5, but I haven't finished the like third semester in Persona 5 Royal yet. So I still need to go back and do that.
Yeah, there's so much. There's so many games and so little time. Yeah, that's my daily struggle.
I know. My backlog is perpetually growing ever larger, and I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna get through this. Like I've just come to accept, like, I am never going to get through this.
Yep. It's unfortunate, but
oh, it's so funny. Horizon Forbidden West came out, and I was like playing it for a week, and then Elden Ring came out, and I'm like, well, so much for that game.
I don't know. Sometimes I just get an itching to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go back and play Skyrim. I've got so much else to play, but you know what?
Oh God, you're like my friend. He's played Skyrim like over and over and over again.
Yeah. To be fair, I actually haven't done that in a while, but sometimes I just get the urge. But
I've never beaten Skyrim.
oh, neither have I. Just like run around and do quests.
I have never finished. I have never gone through an entire playthrough of Skyrim. Yeah, I'm one of those guys.
That's all right. That's okay. Like, I think my thing is that when something becomes a chore and you're like, I have to get this done, like, I'm like, just stop.
Right.
Your mental health is more valuable than like grinding something out.
Yeah, I will drop something if I'm not interested in it. There's an anime that I started, and I got through like 2 seasons of it, thinking it was really good. Then I got to the 3rd season and went, oh my God, I do not like the direction they are taking this, and just completely dropped it.
I've dropped so many shows. I've dropped shows after 2 episodes before. Because I can tell. I'm like, okay, if it's just going to be more of this, I'm going to be like, nah. The funny thing was, I did actually drop Attack on Titan halfway through season 2. And then, I did finish it because my friend wanted to do an episode about it for this show. So he's like, you need to finish it so that we can do the episode. And I'm like, oh no. But once I got to season 3 and started season 3, I was like, heck yeah, I'm into this. So I did actually finish it, but yeah.
I have only seen the 1st season of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where it's like I thought I hated it so much and then actually it got so much better, but like I wouldn't have gone back to it had he not, wanted me to for that reason. But no, I understand not liking it because I didn't. And I still don't think I really like season 1. I think the characters are so bland. Until they get to like season 3 and then they develop things so much better and the character writing gets so much better, I think, as well.
Have you watched Code Geass? Because that's like my favorite anime of all time.
No, I haven't.
It's really good. I'll give you I'll tell you right now, it's a mecha anime, so if you're not into that, you probably wouldn't enjoy it.
I don't think I've ever seen a mech show. Like, I don't see why I wouldn't like it. I like sci-fi in general stuff, so yeah, I'll give it a watch.
I mean, it's a political drama disguised as a mech anime.
That sounds dope.
Yeah, It's really good.
That sounds great to me. Yeah, I'll give it a watch. I'll check it out. I'll put it on my list.
It is like 50 episodes long. It's not a short show, but
Okay. It's okay. I'm currently watching Ace of Diamonds. It's like 75 episodes, so that's a baseball show. do, you, do you like sports anime?
I have not watched any sports anime.
Yeah.
I have not watched any sports anime. I'm not huge into sports, so.
Well, I wasn't. I go to the gym and I do kickboxing, but like I never used to do that before lockdown. But but I watched Haikyuu and was like, this is gonna be boring. And it was so freaking good. I was like, why do I care about volleyball now? Why am I invested in
It's so
volleyball?
funny. My mom is a volleyball coach. My sister plays volleyball. My other sister used to play volleyball. I really should watch Haikyuu.
Yes, Haikyuu is wonderful.
I've heard that it's like, yeah, it's sports anime, but it's basically like a shonen anime that's like just in the
Yeah.
like disguised as a sports anime, but like it's like a full on shonen anime.
It is. It's a sports shonen. So and Ace of Diamonds is kind of like similar in that regard. Although we're only like I don't know, like 7 or 8 episodes in at this point, so we kind of only just started it. But it's got like a very similar vibe to Haikyuu, but I think it's slightly different. Haikyuu is more about like how the whole the different teams in the show have like different philosophies and like different kind of play styles and stuff. And Ace of Diamonds seems to be more about like individual players and their like goals and stuff. So
So it's
um
just more character driven.
I think so. It'll be interesting to see. Like it's not as in terms of the art style, it's like not so good. Like the characters in Ace of Diamonds are like all pretty bland. But anyways, yeah, sports show. It's a good time. I really admire Japan for being able to make a show about anything and make it interesting.
Oh yeah, I mean, they can take something that I have zero interest in and make something fascinating out of it.
Have you seen any high school girl shows?
Oh jeez, like a shojo, like a
Yeah,
proper
or like
like
slice of
shojo.
life.
Yeah, I mean nothing overtly like only for women or anything, but I've seen a
Sure.
couple of them.
Yeah.
I mean, my it's not really my genre of choice. My genre of choice is mostly just shonen anime,
Mm-hmm.
but I also really like mech anime,
Nice.
like
Yeah.
Gurren Lagann, Code Geass.
Oh yeah, my brother likes Gurren Lagann.
I have probably watched Gurren Lagann like 5 times.
Oh yeah.
Specifically the second half of Gurren Lagann, which is funny. I like the second half of Gurren Lagann more than the first half, and I think I'm very much in the minority there. Most people prefer the first half of Gurren Lagann, but the second half is when they go like full sci-fi with it, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I like this.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen it. My favorite show of all time is K-On! So
Mm.
that's my favorite show.
Yeah, I definitely haven't watched that.
I've seen it like 3 times. I freaking love K-On!
I have definitely not seen that, but Code Geass is my favorite of all time, and I've seen it like 3 times over.
Yeah.
I mean, I own the whole series on Blu-ray.
Oh, that's cool.
Haven't watched K-On! Haven't watched a lot of those, heavy slice of life shows.
Yep. That's fair. It's not for everybody, but there's a lot to like about it. But yeah, it's a good time. Um, well, great. We have talked for a minute.
Yeah.
It's been delightful. Is there anything else? Anything else you want to chat about?
I mean, I don't want to keep you on forever.
Hey, it's been fun just to riff about all this stuff and talk about things that we like. What a chill episode. This has been great. It's been nice to, like, get to know you a little more, because I mean, we've interacted a fair bit, like, on Twitter and stuff, but I don't think we've ever talked on call before or anything, so it's been fun.
If we have, definitely not for this long.
No. I don't think so. But no, it's been so fun. So thank you for coming on the episode, Leytrx. I really appreciate it.
Oh
And
yeah, it's been great.
tell everybody where they can find you on the internet.
So you can find me on Twitter at Master Leytrx, Leytrx. That's how you spell it. I also you can join my Discord, the Keyblade Forge. That's the server that I run, that I am the admin and host of, and I hang out a lot in there and just kind of talk and show work in progress of my art and just kind of chill, So I'm on Twitter. I don't just post Keyblades either. I do just post random whateverisms. So if you're interested in what's going on in the world of Leytrx, which I don't know why you would be, it's really not that interesting. But
oh, for sure.
you can follow me on Twitter or join my Discord.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I know I'm in that Discord, but I haven't actually posted in a minute, so maybe I'll show up a little more. That'll be nice. Yeah. Well, thanks. So that was Master Leytrx on the show. We had such a fun conversation. My name is Karis Lunn. You can follow Journey into Fandom on Twitter at J_into_fandom, and I am at Carison Ford on Twitter, CARYSONFORD. Please also join the official Discord for all my podcasts, Retrospective and Journey into Fandom. You can support the show by visiting patreon.com/Into the Carisverse. Thank you for listening. Bye.